Hi folks, this is Fred from RV Maintenance and Mechanical Things, and I always do stuff and then forget about posting it. But here's some ramps I made. Still going to modify them. Up in the front here, I'm going to extend that a little bit longer, shorten that up, cut them off there, and then put a hook and eye to make them two-piece because they're about 70 pounds. And then put a handle on the balance point there, make them easier to haul along. Wheel covers, I'll put a link for them. I'm pretty happy with them. They fit really nice. In the video, I got them off Amazon. I forget the name of the company right now, but what this does is it levels my coach in my driveway. I'm gonna probably add a 1/2 inch piece of plywood to the top to bring it up just a little bit, but it's pretty square. It leans a little bit to the right. I can fix that too if I want. But adding a 3/4 one side, 1/2 inch on the other, top of that ramp. I built ramps like that for my semi years ago. These are made out of 1x12. The semi I made them out of 1x10. I wanted a little bit more. These tires are almost 11 inches wide. They're heavier than what the manufacturer puts on. Seems the manufacturer just puts on minimum, whatever will carry the weight, but at 110 pounds. I'll try to make some notes and do an editorial on this and not cover it all right now. I'm hoping it won't turn into a rant, but here's some of the things that just kind of ticked me off about things. All right, this thing was into the dealer just before I bought it. I had the invoice sitting in my file, okay? And they were complaining about the refrigerator not working on LP and this slide not working. That's a bedroom slide, right? The guy paid $418 and they lubed the slide. Oh yeah, and then they went up on a roof and checked for leaks but didn't do anything with that. They didn't do anything, man. I will withhold the names to protect the idiots. But basically, look at this. Somebody is on this control board, pretty sure it wasn't replaced, but it has a cover. Cover was never put back on. Rain's right here, folks. It really could stand to have a cover. Then there's supposed to be a drip pan for this hose right here. It's supposed to be a drip pan right here, right? Well, there's not. Well, that's what this Coors can is. I took the top off. You can take the top off just using a can opener. They make a good ashtray, I guess, for people to smoke, but I'm going to put that there, and then that'll hold the drips. Initially, the LP wasn't working. A lady had a YouTube showing how to vacuum off the burner because this rust comes down and plugs it, and I did that and it works. But the thing about it is when it's running on a refrigerator with my infrared sensor, these coils aren't as hot with LP, so that tells me the LP is not working as good. It seems to work fine on AC, other than the fact when you're driving down the road, it'll air out. On LP or AC running on a generator, doesn't matter. What happens is if it overheats, then the board shuts it off. Also, back to taking this to the dealer, the person I bought it from to have this worked on, they never even bothered to check on this recall. This is a 1200 LRIM, anyway, from Norcold, a 4-door, and it has a recall on it because there's 4,000 RV fires a year, and most of them are attributed to these evap systems. About this thing getting too hot because it needs to be fairly level. They said only 3%. So, I've done a lot of research. I've learned a lot about these. These things have been around for 80 years. The reason they use them is because this ammonia system is low voltage draw because you're just running a boiler, and everybody's tearing these out because they cost $3,000. It costs you $1,000 to replace this unit. And one of the reasons you replace this unit is because when you get off center, this thing gets up to 350 degrees and it overcooks this boiler. You got the heat tube runs Siamese with the boiler tube, and it overheats it, and over time they crack. And then if you see yellow down here, that means your ammonia is leaking. Okay, when they put this refrigerator in, they probably didn't have that slide in there, so they could just shove it in, put it in. If I want to take this refrigerator out, I got to take the, more than likely, either this side window out of the slide over my dinette, or I got to take that window out up by the driver's seat. Watched a video on somebody replacing one of these, and they put in $1,000 18 cubic foot refrigerator. I guess if you're living in the thing, you need something that big. I got an 18 cubic foot in a house. This is a 12 cubic foot in here, and when I go camping, I can put, or on usually road trips for us, I can put almost everything out of my refrigerator and freezer into this refrigerator. So this refrigerator is fine for me. If you want to buy another one of these and put it in your vehicle, they alone cost $3,000. It's ridiculous. But apparently they can make as many of these as they want. This system is a good system. There's nothing wrong with the system. The engineering that they put in my opinion, is a little lacking. You can go to ARPrv, you can buy a switch that will sense when this thing is going to overheat by putting a sensor up here on this tube and over here on the boiler tube. Oh, I'm sorry, this tube is probably for the fans. That's the other thing. I've never heard the fans work on this thing. If the fans worked on this thing, it would probably work better. They're somewhere up in here. So they have a switch that the Norcold guy online has listed for $170, which is somewhere up in there, folks, along with 2 fans that they want $60 a piece for. So if you want the fans to work to cool these fins off, to reduce the boiler temperature so this thing will cycle better, in other words, this gets cooled down, goes back through this condensation tank, and then gets into the boiler again to go up and do what it does, you gotta pull the refrigerator out. This thing is 13 years old. I've never heard of fans run, so it's either the switch or the fans. I'm not going to do that. I'll buy a fan from ARP and try that. I'll put their switch in. Norcold says I have it scheduled at the dealer right now to put in this recall. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to put a sensor in here for 800 degrees. That's what I read. And this is just my opinion. These are just my experiences. Your opinions and experiences may be different. But so Norcold basically wants to start a fire. I asked the dealer while it's in if he'd put in the ARP sensor with the fan. It says right on their website it doesn't void Norcold's warranty. Norcold said it would void their warranty if they put it in. So basically I have to install it. The ARPrv switch, what it does is it will sense when this thing's getting hot, shut it down before you get boiler damage. When you get down off the grade or get level, whatever, it will restart the unit. Well, I'm driving down a road dropping off a 6% grade. I'm not going to pull over and restart my refrigerator. After so many errors, you have to reset the circuit board. And the directions I think are in your manual, or you can look them up. I'm not going to explain to you how to do it because I don't want any liability for that. But in there it says that if you err, it says no something on it on the screen, you need to take it to the dealer. It's a dealer item. BS. You go in there and you reset it because after twice it won't start up again because it thinks there's something wrong. And I can restart it, it'll run fine. As soon as I hit the road, the thing errors out again, it's not working. So it's a little aggravating. I've been working on this stupid thing for 6 months now, but it'll be a nice coach when I get done. It's too bad. I'll start putting this back together then anyway. So here's the burner. It wasn't getting up to temperature, so what I did is I took this burner out. It goes right up here. I took that burner out. I had vacuumed it out. You can see some of the junk from a boiler. If you have a water heater at home that goes out, check your pilot light. There's a little door on there. Shut the gas off. Go in there. And more than likely you got rust piled up on your burner, and so then the pilot light won't light because the burner won't light. So you got to vacuum it out. It's just flake. It's like a rusty tailpipe. After a while the heat breaks it down. So I was able to knock some flakes out of this. Hopefully that'll fix my problem. Then the next thing is you'll see this beautiful piece of work we did. We made this tube. That tube there is a double flare, and you got to order one from the dealer. You can't find one of these because it twists off. The double flare swells up in a fitting when you crush it. And this has a half PSI, I believe is what this valve is rated at. So, a little bit overkill, I guess, but I'll soap it down, make sure it doesn't leak. And I'm not telling you to make another one, that's just what I'm doing, because then if I have to take this apart again, I can without going to the dealer and buying another line from them. My opinion, if you own an RV, you're on your own. I talked to the dealer, they'll work on this heater while it's in there. My AC is not working for my chassis, and I asked him the cab AC. I asked him if he'd work on that. He won't. Camping World won't. RV dealers will only work on the house, the frame, or the chassis. You take to the respective dealer or the truck dealer, and then they charge you $35 an hour more than they charge for working on a truck, because it's got this body wrapped around the frame. It's not as easy to get at. I would think they'd give you a break because it takes them longer to do anything, but they charge you more. Why is that? I'm guessing they don't want the business. So I hope to get around to making a video later. My problem is I get busy working on this thing and I forget about making videos. And I'll show you, you know, the stages of putting this together. Basically, I have to take and get this tube behind there. There's a screw over there that's got to line up with this hole, tighten it up. You can't get any wrenches in here to work on it when it's together. So basically I have to assemble this tube, put it in there. The valve goes in here, then hook it up to the valve. Here's the LP line, hook it back all up. Then I'll try running it on propane. I'll give you a picture of that when it's done. But basically, folks, my advice to you is if you're planning on buying a used RV, ask them for maintenance records. If they don't have any maintenance records, then try to get some money off. Because if I would have spent money at a dealer, have them do all the work I've done just today, up to date, I'm sure I would have spent 20 grand. And you know, once you buy these things, you can't get rid of them. They depreciate. The RV manufacturers, according to what I've been told, only have to produce parts 5 years. So they only have to support these things for 5 years. So after that, if you're paying somebody hundreds of dollars an hour, well, over $100 an hour to work on the thing, unless you're doing it yourself. Well, I've got enough technical and mechanical abilities that I can pretty much do anything I need to on this. But most people aren't in that situation. Now I'll go into more detail. I keep a spreadsheet on this, and last time I looked at it, and I haven't updated it for a while, I think I'm like 186 lines down on it. But when I get done, and even right now, I really don't have many qualms about driving this wherever I need to. Everything seems to be pretty solid. It just hasn't been maintained. So once I get done, I guess I'll be like the last people that, a couple of owners, you know, just I won't have the maintenance to do. They just didn't do it. I just won't have it to do because I'll be caught up. More later.